So Tropical Depression 9, and take a look, the cone of uncertainty here, just for our eastern counties. So it does include Chambers County, portions of Liberty County, and then the Texas-Louisiana border, and then the entire coastline of Louisiana. Yeah, and remember with the cone, when you're looking at this, every part here on this distance across the cone has an equal chance that potential tropical storm Ida would have to make landfall. So just because the center of the track is in the middle of Louisiana, east or west still has the same percentage of it moving.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we always say never just have your eyes pinned right there on that forecast line right there, that main line. That's just the average line we're talking about from the National Hurricane Center where they think this system will go. But like you said, Cheetah, has equal chance to go from either one of that side to the right side or to the left side as well. So yes, like eastern Houston is still in that forecast cone, but as we have seen the trend go, we've been seeing that cone being shifted ever so slightly eastward. So we hope that trend continues, but unfortunately, part of the Gulf Coast is going to get impacted potentially by a major system, unfortunately, as we go in towards early Monday morning.
That's right. That's what I was going to show you that I think is really interesting with the latest outlook from the National Hurricane Center. Look how quickly they're expecting this to become a hurricane, potentially as early as tomorrow night.
Yes.
By Friday evening into Saturday morning, it's moving from a tropical storm into a hurricane. Now you're going to have a good, 36 to almost 48 hours in the Gulf, with water temperatures around 90 degrees, low wind shear, and to rapidly intensify. So wherever this lands, it could potentially have major impacts.
Yes, absolutely. We have another viewer question asking. Tanya wants to know, will we be on the dirty side of the system? And I think as we're looking at this latest information from the National Hurricane Center, we can safely say we are not going to be on the dirty side, at least the Houston major metropolitan area right here. But portions of the area, I should say, are still in that forecast cone. So say the system goes right along that left border right there, comes right into the Houston metro area, it would be east of that line, so east of, say, Liberty County, that'd be on the dirty side of the system. So west of I-45, for some of our western counties, you are looking like you're pretty much in the clear. But east of that, still some question marks right there in terms of where potentially the system may go and if you'll be impacted.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, just like you were saying, so if you're like at the dirty side, that's any areas east of either, at this point, potentially a category 3, but anywhere east basically of where that would make landfall, that's the dirty side. The western side, less wind, less rain. We'll still probably see some elevated seas and some rip currents out of this, but and some nice tropical downpours. But no, we won't be dealing with some of the rainfall totals that, of course, portions of probably Louisiana will be, or potentially even our eastern counties. We can't rule out from Chambers County to Liberty County.
For instance, like last year around the same time frame, we were talking about Hurricane Laura coming into the picture as well, and it made a landfall right here in southwestern Louisiana, impacting Lake Charles. So we were on the clean side of the system, but we had those choppy waves, those breezy winds, and every now and then a few rain bands did kind of spiral their way over towards us. We got some scattered showers, but we dodged the worst of it. As like you were saying, the worst of it's towards the east, pushing forward. So right here, that's where we could potentially see the worst of the system. That's the dirty side of the system, typically in this portion of the world.
And what's sad is that's just an area that they're really not rebuilt yet. They're still trying to recover from Laura. So that'll be tough to see if that makes landfall over the kind of the same areas there. But if you're just tuning in, this is actually brand new information from the National Hurricane Center. We do have Tropical Depression number 9. It is now the cone of uncertainty, the track from the National Hurricane Center, again, mainly across Louisiana coastline, which we were anticipating to see just because most of the model guidance over the past couple days, it's been fairly consistent, at least over the past 36 hours of Louisiana landfall. But it's interesting to see the intensity that they're expecting, the timing that they're expecting, because that's a little earlier than the Euro.
Yeah, we were watching that track over the past few days, seeing the timing starting to become a little bit more favorable for a faster moving system, which is good news because a slower moving system means it has more time to develop, has a chance to get stronger, and then if it slows down after it makes its landfall, has the potential for dropping a lot of rain. And if we see the system come in and quickly move out, that's some good news right there. The brunt of the system is just localized to one small portion of the area, and then we just have a lot of rain and a lot of wind activity around. But Cheetah, I just wanted to add that we are going to be seeing potentially this system kind of really blossom and strengthen over the open waters of the Gulf of Mexico, not just because because of the warm waters, but because of the upper level air patterns. Very conducive for a system to strengthen and develop, having an upper level high pressure system sitting right over the area. And it's like the tailpipe of a car, allowing the system to completely vent out up into the upper portion of the atmosphere. And once it gets that chance to breathe nicely, here we go, getting stronger and stronger, and sometimes very quickly.
And now, you know, even areas from Mississippi, Alabama, through the Panhandle, all areas east of this track, they're going to be under a serious threat for some really heavy rainfall. So I know most of you are watching from Houston right now, but any friends or family, especially even areas east, we're going to be watching and monitoring some potentially heavy rainfall. But yeah, it's looking like still like that late Sunday night, potentially early Monday morning landfall with Tropical Depression 9.